She was just 11 years old. But behind her eyes, there was something hard to explain, something broken. In 1968, England was shocked by a crime that seemed impossible to believe. Two young boys were found lifeless in Newcastle. The one responsible, not a man, not a gang, but a girl, a child, her name Mary Bell. This is not just a crime story. It's a story about what happens when a child's world is built on fear, pain, and silence. What happens when innocence is never allowed to exist. Mary was born in 1957 in a poor neighborhood in Newcastle, England. From the outside, she looked like any other little girl. But inside her home, things were far from normal. Her mother, Betty, was unstable and often absent. She was involved in risky and questionable activities. And when she was present, she was cold, aggressive, and unpredictable. There are reports, denied by the family, that Mary was exposed to deeply inappropriate experiences from an early age. Neighbors described her home as chaotic and unsafe, and Mary? She was often seen wandering the streets alone, unwashed, hungry, and ignored. Instead of love, she received rejection. Instead of protection, she learned survival. Mary didn't cry like other children. She didn't laugh the same way. She showed strange behavior from a young age. She hurt animals, got into fights, showed little emotion when other kids were in pain. But these signs weren't seen as warnings, they were brushed aside. She started playing with another girl, Norma Bell, no relation. Together they began to act out strange games that grew darker over time, and no one was watching. May 25th, 1968. A 4-year-old boy named Martin Brown was found inside a rundown house, lifeless. There were no visible injuries. Police called it an accident. But then something strange happened. Mary and Norma broke into a nearby nursery, left disturbing notes, and laughed when police arrived. Weeks later, another boy, Brian Howe, age 3, was found in a field. This time, there were signs of violence. Real violence. When questioned, Mary showed no remorse. She gave cold, precise details, and even corrected the investigators when they made a mistake. During the trial, the world struggled to understand. How could a child commit such acts? Mary's defense argued that she was emotionally damaged, that she didn't fully understand the weight of what she'd done. But the prosecution presented a different picture, a girl who knew exactly what she was doing, and who did it on purpose. In the end, Mary was convicted of manslaughter, not murder, due to diminished responsibility. The court recognized her emotional and psychological instability. She was just 11 years old and sentenced to be held at Her Majesty's pleasure, an indefinite sentence. Mary spent years in various secure facilities. Psychologists worked with her. Some described her as intelligent but emotionally frozen. In her teens, she was transferred to a lower security center. And in 1980, at age 23, she was released. Mary received a new identity and legal protection. She had a daughter who didn't know her mother's past for many years. Today, she lives in anonymity. Her life raises difficult questions. Can a child who causes such harm ever be fully healed? Was Mary a villain, or a product of deep, untreated pain? Mary Bell wasn't born cruel. She was born into a world that never gave her a chance, where comfort became fear, and pain was the only language she was taught. Her case continues to fascinate psychologists and criminologists. How could an 11-year-old become capable of such actions? Was it emotional coldness, mental disorder, or simply a mirror of the horror she had seen in her own life? The brain of a child is still forming, but when that formation is shaped by abuse, chaos, and fear, the parts that should teach empathy can become something far more dangerous. Mary showed signs of emotional detachment early on: impulsiveness, lack of empathy, difficulty forming healthy bonds. But behind all of it, there may have been a silent cry for help. She didn't act out for pleasure, but she didn't know another way to deal with the world. The mind of Mary Bell is a reflection of everything that went wrong, a portrait of a stolen childhood, and a powerful warning of what can happen when we ignore the signs. Perhaps the most disturbing part of the Mary Bell case is realizing that at some point, she was still just a child, trying to be loved.